I would like to begin by saying good evening to everyone. I want to thank the media for coming out today and covering this very crucial, in my opinion, press conference. I certainly want to thank my colleague, Dr. Showers, who is also here. And the reason I call this press conference is because of the information that has been disseminated regarding a conflict of interest with me voting for a full-time municipal court judge. So I want to take us back to 2013, which I will show the video here shortly. In 2013, I was working for a company called Recovery Services. The city of Huntsville, began to work on a diversion contract. Once I discovered that this diversion contract that the city of Huntsville was working on, I contacted the Ethics Commission. I got with the presiding judge, then presiding judge Sonny Rodenhauser, and stated what was happening. The Ethics Commission said, "Councilman, here's what you need to do. You need to state publicly your relationship with Recovery Services, and you need to recuse yourself from any involvement on voting, anything related to Recovery Services." So what you're going to see in a few minutes is a video where I did specifically those things as recommended by the Ethics Commission in Montgomery. So as it relates to this judgeship that we're facing now, as you all already know, it is the responsibility of the City Council to appoint the full-time judge, and the mayor, Tommy Battle, will determine who the presiding judge is. So what I am trying to move forward with, which is something that I have been working on since September of this year, brought it to the council, and we've been trying to move forward with the appointment of Judge Scott Rogers, who turned out to be the #1 candidate. As a result of that, there has been one delay after another, and I think that some of this is purposefully orchestrated to delay the process. I won't get into naming the individuals who are involved, but this is an attempt to delay the process so that the new council member will come on board and can hopefully change the outcome of who the #1 judge is. So this is what this is really about. Ethics violations, every office I have held has been an office of public trust, which required an oath of office, from having served as a police officer to having served as chief magistrate with the court to now city council member here in Huntsville. And never in my history of 36 plus years with the city of Huntsville have I ever remotely engaged in anything that would compromise my integrity, my morals, my values. So having said that, I want the general public to know that this is mere an attempt to delay a process that is already underway. Well, if you were to look at what the conflicts of the rules relating to conflicts of interest, as it relates to elected officials, there has to be some kind of financial nexus. So as it relates to Recovery Services and myself, as it relates to Judge Scott Rogers and myself, there's no financial nexus at all. I don't work for Recovery Services, and this is a new judge, so there could not remotely be any kind of conflict. The City Council had, when I made the announcement back in September that we would be taking applications, vitaes, resumes, emails from candidates who are interested in becoming a municipal court judge. There were several candidates that expressed an interest. The City Council, as a body, we held public hearings. I'll take you back to that. And we made independent decisions about who the top 3 candidates were. Also, we narrowed it down to one candidate. That candidate happens to be Judge Scott Rogers. So I have no involvement as it relates to Judge Cleveland and or who the mayor appoints, but it is my responsibility as a council member, as defined by state law and municipal ordinance, to appoint the full-time judges And of course, the mayor will make that decision to appoint whoever he deems appropriate for the presiding judge. The involvement that I had with recovery services, and I want to show you this video, based on what the Ethics Commission advised me of, I did that. I could continue to work. Even today, if I choose to, I could work for recovery services. There is no conflict. Judges don't refer cases to me. They refer cases to an organization. I do consulting for that organization. So whether I have one person or 100 people, the pay that I would receive would remain constantly the same. So if we could, let's go to the video.
B is ordinance number 13-845 to amend section 16-15 of the Code of Ordinances by establishing a pretrial diversion program. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
A motion by Dr. Showers. Mr. Kling, will you second that?
I'll second.
Mr. Kling has seconded that. Discussion? Mr. Culver.
Thank you, Mr. President. As it relates to this particular ordinance, I stated to this body before on the record that I will recuse myself from any involvement on this ordinance after subsequently learning that this particular diversion program, some parts of it could be administered by Recovery Services, which is an organization that I do consulting work for, although I have not worked for them in the last 6 or 7 months. But for that reason, I'm going to recuse myself, and I have already contacted the Ethics Division just to inform them as to what has happened up to this point and what is happening now.
Thank
So,
you. Please
thank
let
you.
the record indicate Mr. Culver has recused himself from this issue and will abstain from voting. Is there any other discussion on this issue? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes 4-0 with Mr. Culver abstaining.
So what we see in this video is the fact that when this item came up for a vote, that I reiterated what I had already stated in the minutes from the September 2013 meeting. I reiterated my relationship with Recovery Services, although I had not worked with them for 6 or 7 months, and I stated the relationship. I stated also that I would recuse myself completely from voting on anything related to them. And as you can see, I did just that. One of the things that I value through my upbringings, being the youngest of 9 children, is integrity, values, morals, and ethics. And when people make insinuations, accusations, it offends me. And there is no room for that in this particular situation. It is merely an attempt to prolong something that we have already begun and are about to finish. So having said that, I know that at that particular time that Dr. Robinson was not privy per se to this because she was not a member of the city council. So I brought this not just for her edification, but for the general public to let them know that this is merely a stall tactic to delay the appointment of Judge Scott Rogers.